Hello, thank you for watching this video. Today we are going to be talking about the BBC power outage of 2000. On Tuesday the 20th of June 2000, at approximately 5 PM, a power cut hit West London. Immediately, fire alarms at Television Centre were triggered and a skeleton crew remained behind to keep essential services like the news running. Now you may be wondering how this is possible. Well, there's a backup generator situated in the Television Centre in London, which allows it to kick in and keep power going in a situation like this. BBC News 24's output remained normal for now. At 6 PM, BBC News 24 joined BBC One's 6 o'clock news with Hugh Edwards. Now I know what he's done, but any footage of him will be played in its entirety in this video for historical accuracy. At 6:15 approximately, Hugh Edwards apologises for the gloomy lighting and warns he could go off air at any moment.
Now, before I press on, another apology for the rather gloomy lighting. We've got severe power problems here in West London, so if I disappear from your screens, you'll know why. In the meantime, we'll carry...
At approximately 6:25 PM, the generator catches on fire. The 6 o'clock news immediately goes dark after a report on Euro 2000. BBC One analogue and later BBC Two analogue were immediately switched to Birmingham, and most regions go to their news programmes early. BBC South East, however, goes to a repeat of Dad's Army. BBC One Digital, both satellite and terrestrial, show UK Direct, a standby programme in place of UK Today. Meanwhile, News 24 goes completely dark, as its systems were severely affected. Network radio services are also affected. At 6:30 PM approximately, BBC Two, which as I mentioned is also controlled from Birmingham, is showing a Michael Palin documentary in place of scheduled programming. At 6:50 PM approximately, in BBC One analogue, their regional programmes finish. Most regions abruptly join Dad's Army. South Today, on the other hand, has about 5 minutes of trailers for Radio Solvent. At 6:55 approximately, BBC One Digital, UK Direct finishes, immediately followed by a brief weather report read by the continuity announcer.
Brief details for the UK for tonight. A band of rain will spread from the west. It'll be heavy in the north and patchy in the south, with temperatures down to 12 Celsius.
Then there are a couple of trailers, and then Euro 2000 coverage starts a few minutes early. BBC One analogue, however, not quite so slick. Most regions, having joined Dad's Army, abruptly switched to the Euro 2000 opening titles as per digital, but about 20 seconds late. Looks like analogue and digital had no idea what each other were doing. At approximately 7:35, BBC News 24, having been blank for over an hour at this point, attempts to bring itself back up, but then it goes down again, this time showing a test card W. Unfortunately, there's writing stuck on the top, so we can't see what's going on, and it's honestly really hard to read. At 7:45 PM, the test card changes to a generic, stretched BBC News logo with News 24 overlaid on it, and then superimposed onto that is the same, not really good looking message. It's still really hard to read. At 8 PM, BBC News 24 immediately switches to BBC World output, showing a recorded news bulletin from earlier with Stephen Cole. For the next hour, various BBC and recorded captions appear, disappear and move around. The source output is 4:3 but cut to 16:9, losing large amounts of video. At 8:30 PM, BBC Three's predecessor, BBC Choice, Liquid News is a repeat of yesterday's programme. BBC News 24 and BBC World show talking movies, during which BBC News 24 output switches to 14:9 in a 16:9 frame. At approximately 8:55, Talking Movies ends, followed by BBC World continuity being played on BBC News 24. However, it's a mess. The countdown plays way too early, followed by the BBC World ident staying on screen for 45 seconds. Now it's hard to blame them, considering the crunch they were in due to the power cut.
You're watching BBC World.
At 9 PM, there is now a live report done by Gavin Essler, which goes as follows.
This is BBC News. Hello, I'm Gavin Essler. We're broadcasting from our Westminster studios because of power problems in and around BBC Television Centre in West London.
Now at 10 PM, the news is played on BBC One, BBC World and BBC News 24. And by 11 PM, it's all back to normal. Now, from hearing about this, I mean, it's honestly a total disaster with what happened, and I can't really blame them, to be honest. I mean, your backup generator setting on fire too, it'd be hard to, well, recover, but investigations were immediately launched, and, well, so they should have been. However, there were more power cuts to come, but I will go through them in a later video. I hope you enjoyed my coverage on the BBC outage of 2000. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you all later. Goodbye.